Winning Blueprint presents.
It's the Redskins report, so it's everything Redskins and anything of the sort. The 2012 Washington Redskins, your NFC East champions. The Redskins report.
Webster's defines disrespect as a lack of respect. Synonyms are affront, offend, insult. That's how I feel right now. I feel disrespected. We are the NFC East champions. Yet, we are an underdog at home. Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks are a good team. Yes, they're playing some really good football. Need I remind you, we are the team on the 7-game winning streak. Not them. We are the team that won our division. Not them. Yeah, they have a better record than we do, and they've beaten some really good teams this season. Don't disrespect me, or you'll pay. And that's how the Redskins should be feeling right now. Disrespected. I feel absolutely, unequivocally disrespected right now. That's the motive. That's the mantra for this week. Disrespect. Respect is not given, it is earned. And right now we're being disrespected. Time to earn some more respect. That's all we've been doing this year is earning respect. Oh, the Redskins, they're winning a few games. That's cute. That's nice. Oh, the Redskins are winning more games. Hey, how about that? Oh, the Redskins are serious. They just won a division. Yeah, we're serious. We're not playing around. So stop jerking us around like we're some token division winner. We got into this tournament on our own volition. No one gave us anything. Sorry for being rude. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me on this Redskins Report Wildcard Weekend edition. Seattle Seahawks. They're the target. I've said it time and time again. We've got a goal. And we checked one off already. The first was to make the playoffs. The second was to win the division. Check. Check. We've done those things. The next check is to earn some respect. Win a home playoff game. And guess who's in the way? You guessed it. The Seattle Seahawks stand in our way. And they're not just standing in the way. They're standing in the way like a bouncer. Hey, that's our stadium right there. That's our win. No. They're putting their hands on our foreheads like we're some little kid. And we're swinging and we're missing. They're disrespecting us right now. We're an underdog in this game. We're at home. The odds makers say that we're a 3-point underdog. We're supposed to lose this game. That's disrespect. Everyone around the league, just as they did against the Cowboys, thinks we're going to lose. And we're at home, just as we were against the Cowboys. Disrespect. So excuse me if I feel like, and I'm coming off as if I'm a little offended. You damn right I'm offended. That's okay though. I like this emotion. I hope the Redskins are feeling the same way. Because I know they have to hear it. If I hear it, I know they have to hear it. How about Richard Sherman, the cornerback, the boisterous cornerback of the Seattle Seahawks, talking about none of the Redskins receivers scare me. So what? Guess what, Richard? None of your receivers scare me either. And guess what? Got another little nugget for you. Guess what? My receivers, my cornerbacks, and you all have in common. You want to know what it is? None of them are going to the Pro Bowl. So you just shut your mouth over there, play defense, see what happens on Sunday. Because you're a good corner. I'm not going to sit here and badmouth you and trash talk you as if you're a garbage scrub. You're a good corner. Maybe you even deserve to go to the Pro Bowl. But I won't sit here and let you talk trash, though, and not say anything about it. And so you'll get what's coming to you. You'll get what's coming in your direction. All I'm going to say is don't fall asleep over there at the corner position. Don't sleep. Because we got our eyes on that top spot. And if you fall asleep, it might wind up missing. So, yeah, I feel a little bit disrespected. I feel some type of way right now. As should you. Remember that nugget I gave you to chew on? You should be finished chewing on it by now. Swallow it, digest it. It should be done. You know the answer to that question. The Seattle Seahawks are the team that put us out of the playoffs the last 2 times we've been there. Those teams weren't that good, though. There were nice stories. They rode winning streaks into the playoffs, barely got in on the last week of the season. Those all sound like this year's team, except there's actually substance to this team. Neither one of those teams had a good offense. Neither one of those teams had a good quarterback. Neither one of those teams were led by Mike Shanahan. Neither one of those teams had offenses that you couldn't stop. Neither one of those teams forced a lot of turnovers on defense. Neither one of those teams were playing in a home playoff game. So there's many differences between the 2005-2007 teams and this one. So yeah, there's no rivalry between us and Seattle. I won't even start using that word. I just want to beat Seattle because the last 2 times I was in the playoffs, the last 2 times the Redskins were in the playoffs, we lost to the Seattle Seahawks. And that's it. I want to beat the Seahawks because they're in the way. There's no extra added animosity here. Makes no difference to me what the Seattle Seahawks have done before, what they're doing now. I just want to beat them, get them out of the way, move on. I got a one-track mind right now. My focus is so narrow, it's not even funny. I can't see what's going on outside of this focus. The focus is clear, and it's very narrow. It's the Seattle Seahawks. My peripheral right now, there is none. I don't see anything else other than the Seattle Seahawks. And they're in the way. Let's remove them out of the way. Here are the ways that you can do that because honestly, playing this team is like looking into a mirror. It really is. They do a lot of the same things that we do. They got a rookie quarterback, so do we. They got a really good rookie quarterback, so do we. Their rookie quarterback can run, so can ours. Their rookie quarterback can throw, so can ours. So right then and there, we're talking about a vast similarity. Then you look at their offense, it looks a lot like ours. We run read option, so do they. They have a powerful running back, so do we. Their offense at times can be predicated by the run game, so can ours. So there's a lot of similarities between the 2 offenses. Out wide at receiver, they have a lot of guys that contribute to help this offense go. We have a lot of guys that contribute on our offense out wide that helps us go. Their offensive line, it's okay. It's not great. Our offensive line, it's okay. It's not great. The only difference there is we have a Pro Bowl left tackle. They don't. Simple as that. You look at the defensive side of the ball, and that's where the changes start to occur. Because their defense is the #1 scoring defense in the league. They give up a shade over 15 points a game. We give up 24. So there's no contest there. The Seahawks are lights out when it comes to defense. But a lot of those numbers were stacked up and bolstered at home. They're a different team at home. On the road, I'm pretty sure they gave up their fair share of points on the road. At home, man, were they a dangerous team. Luckily enough for us, this game isn't in Seattle. It's in Washington. It's at FedEx Field. It's in Landover, Maryland, to be exact. So we don't have those worries about them shutting teams down completely. Yeah, their defense is athletic. They get after quarterbacks. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. And I already told you that 2-3 weeks ago. I'm not afraid of anyone when I'm at home. And it's not because we're a great home team. It's because you're not at home. That team isn't at home. Not because we are, but you're not. And so that's an advantage for us. Maybe we can make FedEx. Maybe we can turn it into a big home field advantage. But right now, it's not that big of a home field advantage. What it is the psychological advantage that we're at home and you're not. And I'll take that for now. Let's turn FedEx into a hard place to win. A tough place for teams to come into and get a victory. Like the Seattle Seahawks have done with CenturyLink Field. All but impossible to go to Seattle and get a win. Not quite that way at FedEx, but let's turn it into that type of atmosphere. A real quick side note. 2 players in this game are coming back from suspension. The Seahawks have their cornerback, Brandon Browner, the big 6'4" cornerback that's very physically imposing, coming back. So now they have their tandem back together. Browner on one side, Sherman on the other. 6'3", 6'4". They're very physical, and they're good corners. They molest you. Both of these cornerbacks could be charged with assault, and both of them would be rightfully charged with assault because that's what they do to receivers. They assault them, and the officials allow them to get away with it. We'll see how this game is called, because if the officials don't allow them to get away with that, that could be key for us. If not, they assault receivers. They're like Darrelle Revis. They will assault your receiver, strip search them, and don't allow them to catch the football. So let's hope that our receivers are adept at beating press coverage, and the officials are aware of the shenanigans that the Seahawks are pulling over there, really assaulting our receivers and not allowing them off the line of scrimmage. And even when they do get off the line of scrimmage, holding on to them, pushing their hands down, really doing a lot of things that disrupt the timing of a route. And that's what makes these Seahawks corners good. They get one of their better ones back in Browner for this game. We get our cornerback in this game. Cedric Griffin is coming off of his suspension, serving 4 games for his Adderall use, and so he'll be back in this game as well. So we get a boost at corner. And now we go 4 deep at corner. D'Angelo Hall, Josh Wilson, Cedric Griffin, and then Crawford has been playing really good football. We go 4 deep now, so I like our chances out in the secondary. Corey Lichtensteiger really nursing that ankle. I don't know if he's going to play. Right now, he's a game-time decision. We'll see what happens with him. It'd be nice if he was able to go. That really hurts. That injury sucks, because this isn't the time for rookies and guys who don't have a lot of experience to be getting in and playing. And Joshua Revis didn't do bad last week. I really thought that he stepped in and did an admirable job. But he's no Corey Lichtensteiger. And this isn't the time to be experimenting with guys at this juncture of the season. This is for all the marbles. This is the postseason. You win or you go home. I don't like experimenting with guys this late in the season. We've had a cohesive unit all year long. I'd love to see Corey Lichtensteiger tape it up and be able to go. But if he can't go at 80% and help this team and he's going to be a hindrance instead of helping us, then he needs to sit down and let someone who's able-bodied get in there and help us out. Let's just hope that Corey Lichtensteiger is able to test that ankle somewhere around Friday and give it a go Sunday and actually be playing at a high level, because Corey Lichtensteiger is probably the second most important person on our offensive line after Trent Williams. Maybe third, because I think we really undersell Will Montgomery's importance to this offense. So if Will Montgomery's 2A, Corey Lichtensteiger is 2B. And I'll leave it at that. And so that's a quick little side note for this game in terms of an injury update and guys coming back from suspension for both teams at the cornerback position. So let's look at the tail of the tape, shall we? When two fighters, two great fighters, two fighters in general are about to square off, what do they always do to set the table for the fight? They give you the tail of the tape. So I'm going to set the table for this playoff matchup versus the Seattle Seahawks by giving you the tail of the tape. Now, what I've done is compile numbers over the last 8 games of the season, because that's really all I'm concerned with, the second half of the season. And so these numbers are from the second half of the season, the last 8 games. So in that stretch, each team went 7-1. So that's a wash. Seattle went 7-1. We went 7-1. Our loss coming to Carolina, their loss coming to Miami. So each team went 7-1 in an 8-game stretch. We finished up, however, on a 7-game winning streak. They finished up on a 4-game winning streak. So points scored in the last 8 games. Seattle has scored 272 points. We've scored 223 points. So advantage Seattle, but not by much. And remember, keep in mind, their point total has been skewed because of those 2 mammoth victories over Arizona and Buffalo, where they scored 50 points in 2 consecutive games. So they still scored the points. You can't take that away from them. They beat up on some bad teams. Good for them. Points given up in that 8-game stretch. Seattle only gave up 94 points, including a shutout against Arizona. Meanwhile, we gave up 161. That is a huge advantage to Seattle. Keep in mind, though, the Seattle Seahawks finished up with a lot of games at home, and they were a lights-out team at home. They were dominant at home, suffocating at times at home, especially defensively. So keep that in mind as well. But they're a better defensive team than we are. Make no mistake about it. They have an advantage, and it's clear looking at that stat. Look at teams with a winning record that they played in that 8-game stretch. Wins versus teams with a winning record in that 8-game stretch. Seattle had 3. We had 4. So for all of the hoopla over Seattle playing against good teams all season long and winning games down the stretch, we've beat better teams than they have down the stretch, or at least more of them down the stretch. Looking at 100-yard rushers in that stretch, Marshawn Lynch went over 100 yards 6 times in those 8 games, including the last game of the season where he barely made it with 100 yards on the dot. Meanwhile, in that 8-game stretch, Alfred Morris went over 100 yards 4 times, with him capping off the season with a 200-yard performance. So these running backs can run the football. I would give the edge to Seattle because they had more, but I would tell you that that's a wash. 200-yard passing games. Seattle had 4. We had 4 over that 8-game stretch. But Russell Wilson doesn't throw for a lot of yards most times. He hasn't had a 300-yard passing game all season long. So if we can limit the running game, force him to beat us, he might not be able to do it because he hasn't had to throw the football and beat teams with his arm and go over 300 yards passing. It might take that in this game, though. Who knows? We'll see. 300-yard passing games, 0 for the Seahawks, 2 for us. Kirk Cousins went over 300 once against the Browns. Robert went over 300 once. So we've been over 300 yards twice. We won both of those games. In games where Robert Griffin III has went over 300 yards passing, we're undefeated. So if he throws the ball and we're completing passes and he's shredding the defense, That's a good thing for us. 2 turnovers or more forced in that stretch of games. The Seahawks forced 2 turnovers in a game in that 8-game stretch 5 times. The Redskins did it 6 times. So we get turnovers. We force turnovers. The Seahawks did have, however, in one of those games, 8 forced turnovers, but it was against the Cardinals. So you throw that out of the window. But yeah, we force turnovers. That's going to be our saving grace. If we make a run in the playoffs, that's going to be our saving grace. Forcing turnovers and not turning it over ourselves, which leads me to the last measure in this tale of the tape. No turnover games. In that 8-game stretch, the Seahawks had 4 games where they didn't turn the ball over at all. We had 3. So the Seahawks, just as we do, take care of the football. No team was better in the league this season at taking care of the football than the Washington Redskins. We need to continue to do that. And that's your tale of the tape. The reason why we're being disrespected, and this is where really the disrespect is stemming from, is teams beaten of note on the season. The teams that we've beaten of note this year, Minnesota, the Giants, Dallas twice, and Baltimore. So 5 games where we've beaten teams of note. Meanwhile, for the Seattle Seahawks, and this is probably where they've gotten a lot of respect from people, these are the teams of note that they've beaten. And it's a variety of teams and some really good ones. They've beaten Dallas at home. They've beaten Green Bay, and we know that game was tainted by the replacement refs, but nonetheless, it's a win. A lot of you would categorize that as a loss, as I would, but it's a win. They beat Green Bay at home. New England at home. Minnesota at home. Chicago, that's their one saving grace on the road. That's their only road win of note. They've only won 3 times on the road this season. The other 8 at home. And San Francisco in a blowout, in a very destructive victory over the San Francisco 49ers at home. Guess what? Seattle is not in this game. At home. So while I hear the disrespect, I give it no merit because they're not at home in this game. They want respect from me. They're going to have to take it from my cold, balled up fist. Because I'm not giving them anything. I'm not giving them a win. You want this win? Come and take this win from us at home. So really what we need to do is what I've been saying all year long. Nothing has changed. It's like a broken record. I could put the same record on for me in week 4, for me in week 8, for me in week 12, for me in week 17 as I can this week. Run the football. Stop the run. Force turnovers. Don't turn it over. Limit touchdowns in the red zone. Score touchdowns in the red zone. It's the same stuff I've been saying all season long. Nothing has changed. We need to do all the fundamental things that we've done on this 7-game winning streak to get us to this point. Nothing has changed. The one thing that we have to do in this game, though, that does change, that has changed, because this is a different opponent and they're unique like us, is that we got to bottle up and contain Russell Wilson. Don't allow him out of the pocket. The best pressure is the kind that comes straight in your face. And that's what we did to Tony Romo last week. That's what we need to do to Russell Wilson this week. You come from the outside and he makes you miss, he got you. Because he's elusive. And so if you come from one side and you don't hit home, you could be in trouble. I don't really see us blitzing a lot in this game because you can't run the risk of blitzing, not getting him, and allowing him to run. Because he's unlike any quarterback we faced all season long, other than Robert Griffin III in practice. You miss, he could be gone. And so you can't run the risk of blitzing 7, not hitting home, having him break the pocket, break contain, and then just off to the races. So I don't see us blitzing a lot. We're going to have to rely on our front 7 to get pressure. Mainly Rob Jackson and Ryan Kerrigan. It'd be nice if Stephen Bowen and Cofield and Jarvis Jenkins and company could get pressure on the D-line, but we haven't done that all season. It'd be nice if they could run some stunts and twists and get some pressure, but We haven't gotten pressure from our D-line all season long, so I don't expect that here. But now is as good a time as any, right? So why not? Why not now? Now is as good a time as any. Why not now? But I just don't see that happening. But I will tell you this. We got to stop Marshawn Lynch. We got to force Russell Wilson to beat us. I told you that he hasn't had a 300-yard passing game this season. Force him to have to win the game. If he beats us, I tip my cap to him. But we got to make him beat us. Force him into some mistakes. Make him uncomfortable. I can't see us blitzing. I don't anticipate us blitzing him a lot. And I'll tell you what, if we sit back and allow Marshawn Lynch to get us, we are in a lot of trouble in this game. Because then you don't know what's coming. Marshawn Lynch could be coming, and if he pulls it out, I tell you this, listen to me loud and clearly, you can't say that I did not warn you. Russell Wilson is one of the most accurate down the field passers off of play action fake in the National Football League. He gets an opportunity on play action fake with a clean pocket, down the field, one-on-one coverage. He does not. I repeat, he does not miss. I've watched Seahawks film all year long. Every single game the Seattle Seahawks have played in, I've watched it. He does not miss one-on-one coverage with the deep ball, and his players go up and make plays for him. So don't allow the run game to affect us in play action fake. Let us be the one dictating to the defense what happens on play action fake, not them. Because if they get the opportunity, they're going to make us pay. And you know, Madu Williams is always, I repeat, always late to the party. And nothing happens great when you're late. Nothing cheap, nothing deep in this game. Special teams stand up. They always have no reasons to think that they won't. Be nice if Richard Crawford busts one in this game. Because I can see the potential for him getting nasty one more time before this season is over. If not more than once. I love Richard back there. Don't you? Don't you love Richard back there returning those punts? Time for him to get off and get one and actually take it to the house. He's due for one. So, it all boils down to this. We're at home. First game at home in the playoffs since '99. Got a chance to take care of some business. Let's do it. I'm not afraid of the Seattle Seahawks team. You might be afraid of them. Everyone else thinks we're afraid of them. I'm not. And I hope every guy in that locker room has the same mentality that I do. And I hope Mike Shanahan is playing the same card that I'm playing here today. Because we're being disrespected. Lack of respect is being shown to the Washington Redskins right now, and I don't like it. I don't take kindly to guys telling me that they don't respect my receivers. I don't take kindly to people telling me that I'm supposed to lose at home. I'm not a favorite. I don't take kindly to everyone saying that, hey, that team that you are seated higher than is a better team than you are. I don't take kindly to that. And I hope Mike Shanahan doesn't either. I hope those 53 guys in that locker room aren't taking kindly to that either. And they're using that as motivation to go out and get it done 24-20 against the Seattle Seahawks. Because that's what I see happening. I don't know about you, but that's what I see happening. Disrespecting us at home. How dare they? I'm a Redskins fan. Etched in this burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. My Redskins spirit will never fold. So we'll be back here. I'll be donning the burgundy and gold, which means we'll be back here talking about another victory, talking about what we need to do to take it to the next step. We'll be back talking about a win in Wild Card Weekend next week. There's really not much more for me to say. I've said everything that's been on my mind, on my conscience, on my heart. Now all the Redskins got to do is hit the field and take care of business. So I say to you, hail to the Redskins.
Whether it's losses or wins, it's all skins. Come get it. I'm holding down the fort. You know why? Because it's the Redskins Report.